most people aren't very good from here. What tends to happen is the feet are loose and floppy. He can make his defensive grip. That's a choice, you know. This is the standard grip where they put the hand on the back of the thigh. This is what we changed, and I got confirmation from Sam. The change that we came up with was a good one. We've been playing from here every class for weeks now, because this is where all the competitors this weekend are gonna end up deciding a tied match in a submission only fight. So if the feet are loose, it's very easy for Dilliard to push this over his head, and now he can start sitting up and hitting escapes, right? Most people aren't that bad that they let that happen, but what Sam and his daughter Sophie are especially good at, and then Ayana in turn went down and felt Sophie's armbar and changed her game, is back heeling with this heel here into the neck. Dilliard, I'll tell you immediately now the posture's changed, there's more pressure on his arm. I can grab the leg and just hold here. There's a steady pressure on Dilliard's grip. Now he has the strongest grips maybe in Creston. 160 pounds on the squeezing machine, which is very impressive. That's like he squeezes his body weight. But he'll tell you, like, this back heel is, yeah, see his hand pops free. This back heel here, the longer I sit on it, which I'm exerting nothing, is putting constant pressure on Dilliard's grips. And when I'm ready, I feel like maybe after 30 seconds, his grip starts to slip. Now I can just pull and I'll get the break. So that's been a standard sort of like, oh, you have a good armbar, it's because you're back heeling. If you don't back heel on the neck, maybe you're back heeling up here and crushing on the arms. He made a sound. You made a sound? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is good pressure, right? But it's also kind of not really attacking the grip. I'm just compressing him in a way that allows me to start fighting for the separation. So two different approaches, but the same idea. It's about not having lazy feet on the far side of your armbar here. This is really important to shut down the escapes. If everybody in here wants to get good at arm bars, that's your secret. Just pull your heels back to your butt and be strong here. It doesn't really matter which side you're on, you can always back heel, but it's easier on this side. Hooking the leg. So now Dilliard, sit up, stack into me. Right, super hard, very difficult. I think everybody knows that. So now here's the new modifications. And by new, I mean it's new to us. We kind of like explored it, found it, played with it with Sam last night. He loves it. Put this hand on your forehead, palm down. Right there, look. Feel the difference?
Oh, yeah.
On back heeling, you feel big difference, right? It takes all the pressure of the back heel off. He's got a really high frame on my leg. This came because we were trying to shut down that earthquaker garbage. If you use Instagram, you might have seen the guy hammering on dude's face. He doesn't like that, but it's far better, go to the other way, than this, you know what I mean? So if he goes to his forehead, now he can frame and lift my knee off of his head. From here now, you feel a big difference on the pressure, right?
Yeah.
So now, he's got to deal with this part. This has been a bane for everybody. Take your left foot and kick that hand off.
With my left foot.
That's your left foot. And now scissor and stack up into me. That's the escape. It's very simple, but it's like technically sound. This was an accident I did. I'm like, I gotta strip the grips. I thought it was gonna be way harder to do. It's super easy to switch your hips off of that grip strip with your foot. And because you have this, I can't back heel to stop you. So even as I'm applying like real meaningful force to Dilliard here, go ahead. There's no way. It's so hard to shut that down. So again, like Sam's been trained 20 years. This is new details to an armbar defense that we've all been exploring for years and years. We're always learning and evolving new things. So I want you guys to play with this, strip the grips with your foot. It's like a rhino grip on the top of your head. You can see there's a big space here versus here where now there's no more space. That extra inch of space matters a lot. Make sense? All right, play with it. Just start here, nice and easy. Let's go. Like self-safe, we got a good solid frame here. He's got to start with the hand on the leg, hand on the floor. If he decides, a lot of times people will bring their hands up and start to try to peel the second hand into this hand fight up here. Once he does that, I'm going to start driving up into him and look to jump over the top and get into the stack position. But that's only if he brings his hand up. If he underhooks my leg instead, I have to go back to the foot pommel strip and then stack from there. So we have to like start being aware of, okay, this is gonna happen and the next step is always gonna be one of two things. He only has, I don't wanna say only, he mostly has two options, which is to start bringing his second hand into the hand fight up here, in which case I bring my feet up to my butt, I push him over, I jump over the shoulder here, and I hold on to his leg, and I put him in this awkward stack position. As long as his leg is behind my hand, he cannot finish this arm lock. Finish your arm lock? Can't. There's no way he can, right? But it's an easy thing for me to start straightening and just pull the arm free. If I lose the leg, so I'm here. If I lose control of this leg and that leg hits my face, bring that leg up in front, here, right here. I'm gonna get arm barred every single time. There's no way I can stop. Even if I try to stack into this guy, when I straighten my arm, he's gonna win every time. Let me come back. This hand behind the far leg is the important detail to not get arm barred. It's impossible for him to finish this. I can let him have my arm. Finish the arm bar. It's not even close. The leg hits my head, finish the arm bar, every time he's gonna win. So when we're stuck in this stacked position, right? I'll re-grip my grips, boom. The last thing I wanna do is try to stand up from here. He brings that back. I'm gonna get arm locked every time I stand up, and it's a really common response. Instead, we pressure down and then slightly forward. So the next one I want you guys to work, we're here. I got my rhino horn defense. He brings the second hand in. I'm able to bring my feet up to my butt. Jump up over the top and hold on to his leg here, like so. From here, I want the bottom player to try to finish the arm bar. Full power, go. There's no way, right? Now I'm gonna sprawl my hips slightly forward, not much. He could invert underneath me here. I could, no. If I'm, hang on, let's come back. If I do it the traditional way, he can invert underneath me. And he's able to roll back through. To avoid that, I stay slightly forward and I drop my right hip. Roll under. No way. Zero chance. Distal position, right? I'm relaxed here. I can chill. I can pull my arm up easily. It's all about like being in the right position at the right angle. So I want you guys to test those things specifically. Can he roll underneath? Because when you get stacked, when you get stacked from an armbar, do it the traditional way. Traditional way. Yeah. Like you stack me. Move here. Normal reaction is to invert underneath the person. This gets shut down by his hip position. Boom, he stacks me. He sinks his right. Yeah, there's no way. Do it again. Oh, this is great. Love this. I'm going to try to invert. Oh. I can't move at all here. He keeps his hips down, forward, and crushing pressure. It's very important that there's all this downward pressure killing my hips. Now he can freely, when he's ready, start to pull out his arm. Let me get the pass. It's horrible under there. It should be horrible under there. It deserves to be horrible under there. You all know what I want you to work? Everybody need to see it again? All right, let's go. This is what ballerinas do with their feet. This is super weird. If you take your leg right now and you look at, I'll show you. Ballerina, look at how beautiful I am. Look at how soft that leg muscle is. Watch it. Can you see that? It's very obvious. One is soft and one is not. Right? Which one do you think is better for choking someone?
Probably that one.
The hard one. Right here. Boom. Far, far better. Right? Just biting down, Ethan already feels like there's a little bit of pressure. The next thing is this shoulder. I need to hide it completely here. If his shoulder comes through the hole, here, there is no triangle happening. So my whole thing is to put, look, when he did that, look, step up again. His hip comes forward and it comes out of play. Now my foot's on the hip and I'm blocking and hiding his shoulder right here. Now as he tries that same maneuver, it doesn't work. Nothing happens, right? I keep my toes pointed up to the ceiling and I keep this leg pinched nicely up against his shoulder. You good? He slowly dies. I'm not squeezing anything. Just he's in the right position to die. The right position the right position is important. I don't want to ever really have to squeeze on a triangle. I mean, I will, but I don't like to. As a rule, I try to like just get to the position and let them sort of try to escape. And it's very difficult, right? So again, my hips off the floor, not here. Here, even if I do everything right, he'll tell you this is not the same feeling. Here, it's already tight. When I lock it, it's super, super tight, right? My hips stay off the floor the entire time. Toes pointed up. This is cutting across the body, and this is cutting all the way to the back of my hamstring, not here, unless the guy's huge, man. If he's like 300 pounds, I might have to lock it here and just squeeze. This is way less efficient. I want to be here, here, and then I roll his shoulder with my thigh, locking, and then here. Get the finish. Very easy. Make sense?
Yes.
Super, super gentle. I want you to try to find the finishing mechanics to get this super clean. Really, really clean. Don't squeeze, because you're cheating yourself. You don't need to squeeze hard in this, right? And they're going to be miserable. They're not going to enjoy it. I want them to enjoy this experience. It's very important. Okay? Let's go. Risky, I think, for me, I get bumped around if I'm up high. I prefer to be down low. The problem is it's hard to attack anything from here. This is like where I go to have base and stay on top. If I get up high, it's for a moment, and I open the gi and I reach my hand down as far as I can, punching all the way down to the mat if I can. Then I go low and I keep heavy on him. I'm already starting to put pressure on this side of the carotid arteries. He's not going to go out here, but he'll start feeling it and it's going to cause reaction. The first 10 seconds, there's going to be a storm. He's going to try to escape, and I'm just going to keep my base, keep my hook connected, keep my hand wide, and then when I feel like he's starting to maybe wheeze a little bit from all of that storm that he just exhausted, I'm going to go low, drag my whole weight across the body to this side, which takes the choke off for a moment. Then I take this elbow and I put it into the neck. From here, I start dragging it down until I reach here. And I drop my head down beside him. So I'm using this elbow to start the strangle, but it's my body position. If I just sit up and try, he's not going to let me do this. He's going to hand fight to the death, right? So instead I get low. He's, as a good jiu-jitsu player, probably trying to get on my hips and all that stuff. I come here, I drop my elbow into the neck, and then I pull the choke. As I pull the choke, I can drive this down into position and keep applying the strangle the entire time. So one hand, elbow, as I drag it down his neck, I hurt his skin with the texture of my gi. Very uncomfortable. So we're not going to do this a lot. Look, you can see the pattern on his neck already. This is misery. Especially if your parents don't use like laundry softener. It's just like starchy, hard gi material. It's terrible. But look, I don't try to put the second grip in. This, never gonna happen. Easy, just make the grip here. But instead of just going straight here, I found that I can add misery and discomfort to his life by putting my body weight on this side, then dragging the elbow across into the grip, and then dropping my head down for the finish. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's try that. Nice and gentle. We're only going to rep this like 2 or 3 times because it's really uncomfortable on the neck flesh. I actually have a turtleneck rash card just for this one. True story. Good. I'm here, I come here, I come here. This is the worst position he's ever going to feel in his life, right? Yeah. Terrible, man. Nobody wants to be there. That doesn't have to happen. He just can't let his arms get trapped up above his head. If he reaches around me and gives me a hug from here, it's the same thing. Those aren't good sounds. Look at this arm. That's not a good arm. If I step over, he dies. That's all because he hugged me. We don't hug from the bottom of the mount.
Nobody's ever gonna give you a hug again.
If I mount him right now, he will hug me all day. Where does his hands go, Atticus?
Grab the sleeve thingy.
How'd that work for him? Sorry, Delia. Don't grab the sleeve. Why would you grab the sleeve from the bottom of the mount? Grab my sleeve. Then my knee comes up. Now his arms are above his head and he's in big, big trouble again. Roman, where should his hands go?
I think like here.
Elbows in
Yeah.
and framing on my hips. Why is he on my hips? Stops me from coming up and getting into that weird, horrible position where he dies every time I go there. Now he should get on his side. If he stays flat on his back, it's going to be terrible. Now look, this whole position feels different now. He's safe, 3/4 on his side. He's got a good frame. He's going to start stepping over and hitting the elbow escape. Right? We have to technically escape the mount. You're not just going to hug your way out of a mount. Trust me. I don't need to kill you anymore. Him way high. My feet come up, connect into the armpits, and I push him away. And the backside, ankle lock him, which you're definitely not allowed to do. But I am. So you guys will find that way easier than I find that. I will never do this in a roll. Old. Oh no, he's got the high mount. My hands go to the armpits and I push him even further. I roll, putting my feet into the armpits and extending him away. All the way. For kids, we just come up and get on top. Adults, we break their foot. You want to do one to me? I've done 2 of those. That's my quota for the year. They slide up high mount, pushes me higher, feet to the armpits, extends away, comes up on top. Make sense?
Loose.
Hopefully you don't need that, but if you make a mistake and your arms come up and they go high mount on you, this is the only escape. There's nothing else that I know of that's going to get you out of there. It's terrible. Good?
Loose.
Let's go. Grip, I need to have a plan for what I'm going to do next. If I get this grip, I need to realize this is different than this. Those are different throws. So for me, if I get this grip, I like to go under hooking. And then I like to pull my guy in. And then I like to Harai Goshi him. Right? That's my plan if I get this grip. If I get this grip, the plan is different. I'm going to pull him in. I'm going to attack the foot like I want to scoop for a single. He can step back and defend it. Normal reaction. From here, I'm going to step out. I'm going to hit the collar drag. He doesn't have to roll over. A lot of people do. It's weird. Most of the time, they end up here. I'm going to reach for the leg, spearing him in the ribs, and wrestle up to get on top. Easy, easy takedown. You remember this one, Kingsley? I bombed you? Sorry, buddy. So again, boom, cross collar grip. Pulling him forward, I want this to this. That's my first option. If that fails, boom, he steps out, I step here.
Give him a bloody nose.
Look, if you can bomb their face into the mat, all the better. It's a combat sport. It's perfectly legal to do that to somebody on a takedown.
Yes?
That's why we do break falls, right? We learn to fall properly so we don't get hurt. Are you bleeding?
Oh,
Oh, thank God.
I did have problems there.
You did a good break fall? Good. So again, I reach a cross collar grip, I pull him into me, and I want this. For me, this is the easiest one. Easy trip. But it's easy for him to defend too. Pull, sweep. If he goes all the way down, that's fine. If he lands on his hands and knees, I I spear him in the rib and push him over. Make sense? Okay, this is called a collar drag from the Kouchi gari. So if you hear me screaming at you from the side, Kouchi, it just means this. That's Kouchi right here. You can also take him down right there. Like you have real easy options from there. But I think it's better to learn things in chains. Boom, boom. You wanna try it? You could say no, but don't.
I know.
All right, competitors especially, you guys can work on this. If you guys don't want to keep drilling that, you can. You can if you want. You don't have to. If you want to roll, you can start rolling. But you guys for sure work on the feet. Good? Let's go.